Your starseed awakening was just the beginning. Now it's time for your cosmic initiation into your fully awakened galactic self. Welcome to Dimensional Shift for Starseeds. I'm Revi, your guide with a cosmic map of the multiverse. I've been a fully awakened galactic being for 2 years and have extensive experience channeling and downloading cosmic data to help advance human awareness and thought. My mission here at Dimensional Shift is to help you accelerate your self-initiation through soul reconnection, identity integration, purpose alignment, and mission activation. There is order and there is choice. Today I have a channeled transmission from Feline from the Earth Council of Lyra. She is the Abrulah there, which is the matriarch, from what I can gather. She did not want to do an oral transmission, so I've written down the transmission and I will do my best to interpret and explain to you as I go from what she's told me. There is order and there is choice. We can 100% see this going on in the world right now, and the problem is we struggle to see which is the order and which is the choice, and which is benefiting mankind, and which is benefiting self. There seems to be a lot of illusion going on with which is which. This past week, the energies have been really, really intense, both toward order and toward choice. We've had moments where we've had really great breakthroughs, and there's been a lot of downloads and a lot of acceleration and a lot of moving forward, but then there's also been a lot of psychic attacks. There's been a lot of energetic contractions and moments where we just feel totally almost suppressed. So Matzilan wanted me to share a galactic perspective of why Earth was created for the galactics, and also what's been going on here from their perspective. Choice is uncertain, can be painful, it's wild, it's free, and it's sovereign. Order is stable, calm, grounded, dull, and controlled. And that last word was very subtly entered into my energy field as control of others rather than control of self. Whereas choice would be sovereign, control over self. Order is control over others. Now, she did note that too much of either is harmful. A balance is key. Choice allows for us to have joy in life and make our own decisions and have that sovereignty and feel like we're a person or feel like we're a being that lives their own life or has their own perspective and experience. Order is what allows for the communities and societies and collectives to grow and populate and be stable and secure. The problem is, for the galactics, they have introduced too much order into their, quote, lives, into their existence. Everything is very controlled, almost to the point where they don't have any push or drive. Everything is so anesthetized for them that there's no joie de vivre, if you want to put it that way. They don't have any joy. They've sold their pain, but the pleasure went with it. And so they created Earth, and however you want to say this, most people think that the Matrix was created by the Archons, however you want to view that, I don't know, but from what she said, Earth was created by the Galactics so that they could come here, we could come here, and experience an existence that was fleeting, that was short, that was impulsive and chaotic, and wild and free and enjoyable, and time and death gave it meaning and purpose, and the emotion made it worthwhile. But we kind of know how the story goes where it's been taken over, that control has been entered in, order has been entered in. And so now we are slowly also being anesthetized to the emotion, to our feelings, to the meaning and purpose and drive of life. It's almost like once we took the survival out of existence, we took out the purpose and the meaning. Matzilan talked about the past 80 to 100 years since she called it the Great Explosion. Now, I don't know if you know that we were never meant to have atomic warfare. It was supposed to be introduced for energy purposes. It was introduced too early, and it was grasped by the wrong powers. Most of us know that story, right? Since the Great Explosion, we have been slowly desensitized to death and emotions so that we could be more controlled. Chaos was given up for order, and with order comes control and choices being taken away. This isn't an anti-government spiel. That's not the purpose of this. Actually, there's a lot more subtlety to everything than that. A lot of the appearances of choices and the appearances of sovereignty maybe are not so sovereign. The subtleties and the energies behind these movements and everything that's been going on around the world, more specifically in North America, the spirituality and the spiritual warfare behind all of that is so intense that most people don't even realize what's going on. It comes across so much as our own self that we don't even realize when we are being pushed toward control and order. Sometimes the order was instated to help further society, and there's an emphasis on that word society, and I think that it gets a little bit dicey when you're talking about self versus society. Sometimes we have to give up self for the good of others, but sometimes we need to protect ourselves too. We've been going too long without boundaries. We've been letting people and institutions and whatever it is walk all over us as a self, as a person. And I think that that's been detrimental in the long run because a lot of harm has been done in a very subtle way. For example, if you look at the way that the psychology has been implemented for advertising, starting in like the 50s and 60s with television, and then on into the music and movie industries, and then later in the internet and the way that social media has totally taken over 90% of the world, and that most of the information on there is not even real or meaningful or helpful or inspiring or truthful. And these things have slowly controlled the way that we think and the stories that we tell ourselves and the way we view our reality and the way that we create our reality, to a point that everyone has given up any kind of sovereignty, any kind of choice, to the point where we have subconsciously given up our sovereignty for, quote, conscious entertainment. For example, my son wanted $10 to buy some coins or something in a game that he was playing. And he said, well, if I buy the $12 one, I get 10% more. And I said, yeah, but neither of them are real. And the fact that I have to go work for an hour so you can buy $10 of something that's not real seems a little bit strange. And it really made him pause and think. So what do? Matsudan was very clear that we need to start feeling again and stop plugging in, medicating, stop checking out, anything where we allow our consciousness to escape this reality. Because this reality really does suck right now. It sucks for a lot of us. It sucks for, I would say, everyone. Nobody likes it here anymore. We all are done. But the only way to get from where we are to where we want to be, rather than where we are to where, quote, they want us to be, is to feel again. And that includes the pain as well as the pleasure. Therein lies the rub, right? The only way to get through it is to feel it. We're supposed to reinstate our sovereignty, whatever that takes, so that this life, your life, is not missed, and so that the order does not wrest control of this world. Those were her words. That's the point. We have to feel it. We have to heal it. We have to enjoy it. And even the healing can be enjoyable if you find the right people to do it with. And she had a very big emphasis on the arts, music, writing, connecting to others even in messy ways, loving wholly and unconditionally with no reservations, not worrying about getting hurt. That was the whole point of coming here, was to find meaning again, and the only way to do that is through the emotions and feelings. A lot of spiritual culture nowadays, actually a lot of spiritual culture throughout the ages, has been about distancing ourselves from our feelings and overcoming the desires and wants and emotions, and that those made us weak and controllable. But actually, we're finding that it's the ego mind, which is more along the lines of thought and the subconscious impulses, that are the issue. Now, fair that those thoughts control our emotions to a large extent, but that's why we have to be so mindful of what we think, and that are we producing the emotions that we want. And there's a little bit to talk about here about the micro to the macro, or the universal law of correspondence. As within, so without, as above, so below. If we create order in our mind, we don't have to have order in the world. It will create a natural order rather than a false, controlled order. If we're all making sovereign choices based on the good of the collective, then we don't have to have someone taking away our sovereign choices for the good of the collective, or for the good of whosever agenda is in power. Again, therein lies the rub. People have to make the right choices. And I know right is subjective. But again, like I said, this is a choice made by self for the good of the collective. I know that's idealistic, but I think it's a fair thing to hope for. I really do. I think that's what we intentionally created here, was a place where we could have sovereign choice, that people were going to make the right choices, so that we could keep a society going where we didn't have to have the order that was taking away all of our meaning and purpose. And then we added the elements of time and death. Time gave us a purpose, a drive, a deadline. And death was the deadline, which created a sense of urgency. And urgency is normally thought of as a bad thing, but it falls on the side of choice, because if we have a sense of urgency, then we don't have time to make the wrong choices. We don't have time to have other people tell us what choice to make. We're here for a purpose, a meaning and mission, and the time and the death gives the urgency. I hope that I gave justice to all of what Matzilan wanted me to say. I think I said a lot more than she did, but she wanted to leave you with this. Feel, heal, write bad poetry, listen to music that touches your soul. Love wholly and unconditionally with no reservations. Do something that lights you up today. Do something that gives you a little bit of joy. Or do something that heals some of the pain. But whatever you do today, do something that makes you feel. And then unpack it. Why does it make me feel this way? What meaning do I derive from it? What purpose do I get from it? And how can I use it for my mission? So if you like to write something, write a bad poem. Bad poetry is the best. It's my favorite. Listen to some great music. Draw, paint, sculpt. Get your hands on the earth. Do some trigonometry. That's very soothing for the soul sometimes. Not gonna lie, I'm really bad at math, but I really love trig. Do something that makes you feel, and then question why it makes you feel and how you can learn from it, grow from it, share it with others, or use it for your mission. That's what you need to do today. That's what you need to do this week. So until we talk again next Monday, feel the feelings, kind of like Nikki Ojeda said in our guest podcast a couple episodes ago. Feel your feelings. It's very important. She was spot on when she said that. And we will get through this together, but we have to heal. We have to learn how to love life again, because until we love life again, there's going to be more death. Maybe that's what this whole corona thing is about anyway, is the urgency that maybe we're running out of time. Maybe we don't know what tomorrow brings. So we need to do it today. And so do something today that you love and enjoy, and have a good time with it. And like I told my son the other night, if you don't go to sleep, there's no tomorrow. But you still have to go to bed. If you love this episode, please be sure to leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts so other starseeds can grow into their fully awakened galactic selves just like you. I know you're really excited to start reconnecting to your soul, owning your identity, discovering your purpose, and activating your mission, so check out my site, dimensionalshifter.com, join the Galactic community on Discord, or ask your questions on my subreddit. All of those links are in the show notes. Thanks for tuning into The Frequency today. Tune back in next Monday on your favorite podcast app. And if you love this episode, share it with a friend or loved one.